Saudi Arabia is a bit like the United States in its area. Down to the south, it's got a very, very poor region. The US has got Mexico. Saudi Arabia's got Yemen, very, very poor. And that creates tensions because illegal immigrants are forever trying to get into the country. And it creates a sort of badlands down in the south where, at the moment, Al-Qaeda can go and get refuge. So in the long term, it's an unstable situation. Border Patrol.
Border Patrol.
Yeah.
One of Ministry of Interior's department.
Right. So this is really like a military road, just for patrol purposes.
There is 7 checkpoints.
7 checkpoints.
7 checkpoints.
Right. Roughly how many people will go through here every day?
والله ما بين 1800
1,000 to 800.
Yeah.
800.
What does the rasmi mean?
من السعوديين واليمنيين.
That's legal.
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 And we know that some Al-Qaeda are in Yemen. Do any come through here ever?
There is fear, and that fear is empowering them to be ready at all times.
I see. Well, we're a few miles along the border, and this is one of the watchtowers, which is every few miles. You can look out and you can actually see people across in those trees waiting for us all to go when they can come running across. There are drug smugglers who try this route, and then there are also just maybe the odd member of Al-Qaeda trying to get back into Saudi. This is a bus of guys that have been caught crossing the border.
Along this line, there is a lot of villages that the border
Goes through
it.
Right, yeah.
So there is families on both sides
Who have the right to cross.
who have the right to cross.
And then other people slip in with them and try and get in.
Take advantage of that and try to slip in.
They're picking up guys all day long, and then they question them, and some prove to have terrorist connections. A lot of them just prove to be illegal immigrants looking desperately for work. After all, bin Laden himself is the son of a Yemeni who came to Saudi Arabia and made himself into a great businessman. The Interior Ministry has an almost impossible challenge to keep out every potential terrorist through this porous border to its south. They're aware they have a responsibility to the rest of the world, but their first priority, like any country, is to make things safe here. I'm writing about the Age of Terror and how the Age of Terror began for us with 9/11. But for the Saudis, their Age of Terror didn't start until 2 years later, in May 2003, when Al-Qaeda attacked inside Saudi towns for the first time, and suicide bombers began blowing themselves up in the kingdom. They issued orders for the royal family to be overthrown, and this was when people's view of the Interior Ministry started to change. When I came to live here 30 years ago, people were scared of the Interior Minister and his secret police. You whispered about them. Now, strangely, they've become the heroes of society because they've chased the bad guys away. They've protected the king and the royal family. They keep the streets of Saudi Arabia safe. And of course, when they die fighting the terrorists, now they become the martyrs. This is Suwaidi. It's notorious, or it was notorious, as one of the really extremist neighborhoods of Riyadh. It's where all the jihadis came. They lived here. This is the sort of area where Al-Qaeda, if they are recruiting in Riyadh at the moment, would come, because they are very simple, tribal folk. There's not as much education here as there is elsewhere in Riyadh. And there is this enduring mistrust of the West and what it's done. And the recent war in Gaza will have been watched here on every Al Jazeera screen. And the young men would say, let's go off and fight. Why isn't our government allowing us to go and fight holy war? We went and fought holy war against the Russians in Afghanistan. Why can't we go and do the same thing against the Israelis in Gaza and save our Arab brothers? You sold your car to go on jihad?
Yeah, sold everything.
It says here in this document
Yeah.
that you attended a basic course in the Kalashnikov, the Semenov, all these guns.
Yeah.
That's true?
Yeah, that's true.
Did you meet Osama bin Laden?
Yeah, I met him. He tried to recruit me like the others, you know, and...
When you say he tried to recruit you, you were there in Afghanistan?
Yeah. First, he gave you training, then he tried to recruit you to be with him, to follow his orders. And I spent almost 2 weeks in Tora Bora. Then Bin Laden came.
What's it like seeing a B-52 come over?
We get used in that by the time.
Got used to it?
Yeah, yeah. Because this was happening. The first day Bin Laden came, they start focusing on us, you know. Before, they were bombing around, you know, I mean, in all places, you know. But when he came, I think they get information that he's there. So they start bombing, and he stay under that bombing, you know, for 25 days.
25 days?
26 days, yeah. Finally, he is the one that he gave order for everybody. Get out. He get out first.
He got out first?
Yeah, yeah. You know, but when he left Tora Bora, he left walking. Like
he left
us.
walking?
Yeah, like us.
Has the attitude in this country changed? I mean, when you were a kid, you went to be a jihadi, and that was a good thing. Everybody said, you go to Afghanistan, good idea.
Yeah.
But now, it's not a good idea.
Of course, it's changed a lot.
Do you feel that you got used? Brainwashed?
Kind of.
Kind of?
Yeah.
Would you ever have been willing to suicide bomb? Did people try and make you suicide bomb?
They are not straight about it, but they make...
How do you mean not straight?
I mean, they don't work directly. They make some lecture about that is okay, you know, but they don't force people. Then they make who like to be.
What, there was a list for people who wanted to suicide?
Yeah.
There was a list?
Yeah, there was.
Sign up here to suicide?
Yeah, you go and you say that you would like to join with Al-Qaeda, and you said, put me on this list.
This country is a creation of jihad. 300 years ago, there was a Saudi state built on an alliance between the House of Saud and a ferocious, puritanical interpretation of Islam based here in Riyadh. So jihad is in the blood of this country, and they're still working out where it went wrong and why now jihad is a dirty word. I don't think it's a coincidence that jihad grew into a worldwide phenomenon when Saudi Arabia became the oil power they are today. That gave them the resources to fund holy war. Lots of people here, when you talk to them, will say, well, 1428 years ago is when Muhammad received his revelation, and for 1300, 1350 of those years, nothing changed here. It was desert and the little oases, and that's what the House of Saud took over at the beginning of the 20th century. Oil doesn't start pumping here till the 40s, 50s. And even then, the price of oil is so low, it doesn't make much difference. And then suddenly, 1973, 74, the oil price explosion, money comes rushing in, and everything starts changing. Saudi Arabia has the most Islam in the world, the most oil in the world, and until recently, it was the biggest exporter of jihadis. If the oil ran out, obviously Saudi Arabia's role in the economy of the world would diminish to next to nothing. And let's not underrate the role of their money in the difficult years ahead. They are one of the few countries, due to their innate conservatism, that didn't get wrapped up in this latest madness. They're now third in the world for foreign reserves. They have got very little debt. But when it comes to social issues and terrorism and extremism, then that makes them important from now into the foreseeable future.